Hello guys! Welcome to another video! In this video we are going to be doing the Premier League prediction for the 2026-2027 season that is coming up. This is before the transfers has already been done, so it could change. I'll probably do another video after the transfer window, just just to get my point of view across after the transfer window. This is before the transfer window, and I'll be doing one after the transfer window. So yeah, let's get started. So coming in at number 20, I have got Hull City. Yep, number 20, Hull City. Why? Because it just came up, and judging from their transfer window so far, what I've seen, it's not been too good. They made a couple of signs here and there, but none of them which speak out that will keep them up. So I have got them in 20th, and less said about them the better, because they've only just came up, and judging from how teams normally perform when they come up, they usually go back down. So yeah, that's the reason why I've got. That is the reason why I have got. Yeah, that's the reason why I've got them at 20th. So yeah, moving on to number 19th. Right, this one I was gonna put them staying up, but they've not done that much in the transfer window so far. As I said, this is before the transfer window has finished. There is still a couple of weeks left of the transfer window, so if they do make a couple of signs, it will change. I will probably put them outside of the bottom three, but until they do, coming in at number 19th, it will be Ipswich. Yeah, Ipswich will be. Yeah. Ipswich will be 19th. For the reasons I said, they haven't done that much in the transfer window so far. They've only just came up, and as the reasons why I said with Hull City going down, most of the teams that come up, they never stay up. So I'll have put them at 19th. So yeah. Coming in at 18th, I have got. This is a tricky one, but I am going to go for. You may disagree with this one, but I am going to go with Forest. Yeah, I'm going to go Forest. I wasn't going to, but they haven't done anything in the transfer window so far. And I've totally spelled it wrong, so let me just click that real quick. There we go. Forest, there we go. Yeah, 18th is Forest. Why? Because they were lucky to stay up last season and they should have gone down, and the fact that West Ham went down and they didn't is a bit of a disgrace considering the team that Forest have got and the team that West Ham have got. But West Ham went down and they are down, so there's nothing that's really keeping Forest from going down other than if they go on a mad one like they did under Nuno, but they have not got Nuno anymore, so I do think they're going to go down. 17th. I've got Coventry. Coventry City. I do think they're going to stay up from what I've seen of them in of what I've seen of them in the transfer window. I do think there's enough for them to stay up. From what I've seen of them in the Championship, they look good. They were not expected to come up, so they were pretty much an underdog in the Championship. So when they are not expected to do well, they normally do well. So the less pressure on them, I do think they're gonna. Yeah, I do think they're gonna do well. 17th. You may disagree with that, but in my opinion, I do think they will stay up. They're making some good signings so far. If they can get a couple more in before the transfer window ends up, they could end up 16th. But at the moment, I have got them 17th. But 17th for them is a good season. It's a very good season. 16th, you may disagree with this one as well, but it's only because they've lost their manager, and I do not know much about the manager that they've got in. But I have got Palace. Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. Why have I got Crystal Palace? Well, as the reasons I've just said a minute ago. They've lost their manager in Glasgow. Won them 3 trophies when he was there. So, and that's, in my knowledge, more than they've done in their whole history. He's won the FA Cup, beating Man City. He won the Community Shield. And he won the Conference League to put them into Europa League. So the fact that they have no longer got that manager, they lost Gahey in the January transfer window, that will come back to bite them when it comes to a full season. Like in a half a season, Gahey was enough to keep them in a position where they were. But now they have not got him for the full season. That will hinder them. They lost their other centre back to Chelsea, so yeah, it's not exactly a good look for them, but 16th, I have got them 16th. 15th. Now this one, I think probably will happen, considering what I've seen of them against Liverpool in the pre-season. But I know it's only pre-season, but pre-season does matter when you're playing up against another Premier League side, because when you're playing a Premier League side, you will learn about their tactics, you will learn about how they will be set up, you'll learn about how they will react in certain games, you'll know where to exploit. So the fact that they did beat us in the pre-season, I do think it'll be enough for them to get 15th. They stayed up last season, and Farker has proven that he's a good enough manager to keep them up. Is he a good enough manager to keep them up again and get them higher up in the league? I do think he is. The more money that he gets, the more better he will get. He's a very underrated manager, in my opinion. Very underrated. So, oh yeah, 14th. I nearly forgot who I put in 14th. 14th will be Newcastle. It will be Newcastle, and I will tell you why it's Newcastle. Because what they're doing in the transfer window and what they've been doing in the transfer windows from the past 2 seasons is pretty embarrassing, considering they are the fucking richest club in the world. So the fact that they are not signing anybody, from my recollection, the fact that they are losing a bunch of players, they've lost a lot of players, and they are not going to be doing well next season. They lost Isak to bloody Liverpool. Bloody Norwich, what the fuck am I on about? Lost Isak to Liverpool. They lost Ekatike to Liverpool. They were in for him. Cisco to Man United. They were in for him. Bremo to Man United. They were in for him. They lost Bruno to Arsenal. They have lost. They are going to lose Lewis Hall, in my opinion, because he is way too good to be in that bloody team. Who else did they lost? Gordon to Barcelona. Tonali to Tottenham. So, yeah. In 14th, Newcastle United. It's not a good look for them now, is it? No, it's not. 13th, it will be Everton. That's a good season for them, in my opinion. That's a very good season for them. Everton. These are definitely not in the right order in the table one why everybody, but is what it is. But Everton in 13th. From what I've seen of them in the transfer window, it has been good so far. It will be good enough to keep them in 13th. The signings that they made last season was good enough to get them in the place that they finished. Darcy, fucking hell, Darcy, Jesus Christ. That was good enough to get them in 13th, and just hope, not in 13th, I don't even know where they finished last season, but 13th will be a good season for them. And on to 12th. 12th will be Fulham. It will be Fulham, and I'll tell you why it's Fulham. You may disagree with this, because they have lost their manager. But they have got a good team still. So yeah, Fulham is in 12th. Yeah, you may disagree with this one because they have lost their manager and he is probably the greatest manager in a while. But they've replaced him pretty well. And yeah, the fact that they have replaced him with a good enough manager and they've got a good enough team, they're making some good signings so far. 12th is where I am going to be putting them. So if you don't like it, put in the comments down below and tell me why you do not like it. But that's my opinion. And yeah, opinions matter. Brentford is in 11th. That's what it is. Brentford in 11th. Okay? Okay. Right. That's it. I have had enough. 11th. Brentford. The fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Fuck me. Yep. 11th, Brentford. Well, last season they were pretty good. Their manager was probably manager of the season for me because from taking over from Thomas Frank, who was doing well at them, he left to go to Tottenham, got sacked by Tottenham. In comes their new manager, was not expected to do well, and he did do well. So I have got them in 11th. They made some good signings so far. I like the spine that they got. 11th for me. Yep, that's it. In 10th, I have got Sunderland. Why I have got Sunderland? Okay. Well, they done really well last season. Really well. Shaka, signing of the season for me. Came in from Bayer Leverkusen. Don't know how they managed to get him out of Bayer Leverkusen considering they went unbeaten with him in the team. Champions League club, they managed to get him out. He came in, kept them up, and not only did they keep him up, he got them into Europe, which is pretty funny considering Newcastle is more virtual than them, has been more successful than them in the past 5 years, won the Carabao Cup, got into Champions League twice. In comes Sunderland, they get into the Champions League, so not in the Champions League, what the hell, man, but in Europe. But that is where I have got them this season. Yep. Sunderland in 10th. Yeah. In 9th, I have got Bournemouth. I've got Bournemouth in 9th, but some of you will be surprised by that. But Bournemouth in 9th. They lost their manager in Iraola, but they've replaced him with Marco Rose, and he is a quality manager. Done well in the Bundesliga, come in, got his own philosophy, got his own style of play. This team is already well gelled together. Alex Scott is still in that team somehow. I don't know how anyone's hasn't picked him up because he is a top quality player. Got still a lot of their players from last season. Yeah. Bournemouth in 10th. No, 9th. What the hell? Yeah, 9th. In 8th, I've got Brighton. That's who I've got. I like what they've done last season so far. They've done really well this season. They've signed some good players. They always sign a lot of good players. Don't know how, don't know where they end up buying them from, but their scouts are the best scouts in the world. Got Matoma for cheap. They got Casado for cheap. They got... Who else did they get for cheap? I'm missing... Well, there's other players, exactly my point. They've got a lot of good players and I don't know who they are. And the fact that I don't know who they are means the scouting is really good. They plucked them out from teams that I'd never heard of. They sign them for cheap and they train them up, sell them on for a lot of money like they did with Casado, and they just reap the benefits of it. So Brighton, I've got an 8th. But as I said, this could change when the transfer window's over. But this is my prediction so far. And if you don't agree with it, well, it's all about opinions, isn't it? So put in the comments down below why you do not agree with it and who would you put instead of who. Because this is my prediction so far. And you can't really slate it because the transfer window is not even over. So this is before the transfer window is over, you see? Before, not after. Before. So yeah, you know me, man. Before it's over, we all over. Put that there, put that there, and put that there. Yeah, put that there, put that there. Brighton in 8th. 7th, I have got Aston Villa. I'll tell you why I've got Aston Villa. Villa. Because they are in the Champions League. And the last time they were in the Champions League, the add-on games really affected them badly. The only reason they got into the Champions League last season is because of the Europa League. They're in the Champions League this season. It's going to hinder them even more because they're going to be playing top teams, including the Premier League, 38 games across the season, including the games in the Champions League, with the FA Cup, with the Carabao Cup. They haven't got a squad to compete in the Champions League. Maybe at the end, they lost Rodgers. Maybe at the end of the transfer window, they will replace him. But at the moment, they have not. So I have got them in 7th. To me, 7th is good, considering they lost Rodgers, they're in the Champions League, and it could hinder them. So yeah. 6th, I have got Man United. The reason why I've got Man United is because they're in the Champions League. They got into the Champions League last season because they had no European football. They ended up out of the Carabao Cup. They ended up in the FA Cup. So that means they only had to play one game a week. This season, they signed Tillemans, Andre Santos, and who was the other one they signed? They signed another midfielder. No, they didn't. So they signed someone else. Well, they signed Andre Santos and Tillemans. That's all I know. at the moment. But Andre Santos was not even good enough to get into the Chelsea team. So the fact that they just bought him shows they're not willing to compete, because if they were, they would go buy the best that they can get, not Chelsea's, scraps. So yeah, Man United in 6th. In 5th, I have got Tottenham. I've got Tottenham in 5th. Why I've got them in 5th? Because De Zerbi, I really wanted him at Liverpool. He done really well at Brighton on a shoestring budget. Now that he went to Marseille, made him score more goals than PSG, left, went to Tottenham, got Tonali, Fernandes, Van Hecke, Sensei from Bournemouth on the free, Robertson for experience, that's a good signing. They are probably going to sign Xavier from Man City, and if they do, 5th, maybe 4th, if they do get Xavier, because that's 5 good signings, and if you give money to a manager like Zerbi, he will do well. So yeah, there we are. You know me, man. Hello today. And 4th, I have got Man City. Slight bias when you know who I'm gonna be putting in 3rd, but at the moment I have got Man City, because they've got rid of Pep. It's a new Man City. They done well to challenge for the league last season, considering I do not think they have got a good squad. Cherky was doing well to carry them. Foden's fallen off. Haaland carried them. They got him Maresca. Don't rate him. Never have. Never will. Until he's proven. And in 3rd, I have got Liverpool. And the reason why I've got Liverpool is because it is a bit of a bias, but I do think Iriola is a better manager than Maresca. And the reasons why is because he got Bournemouth, who have got 10,000 people in their stadium, that is a bloody League One bloody stadium, let alone a Premier League stadium, into Europe. And now that he's at Liverpool with the likes of Isaac, Munoz has come in, Rio is a good little prospect. You see what he does with prospects, like Semenyo, Kirkes. We got Kirkes, he had them at Bournemouth, made them into the best left back in the league at that time. Let's see if he can do it again with Kirkes at Liverpool. We have got Gravenberch, Van Dijk still, Premier League winner twice. We have got some good players, and the better players that a manager like Iriola has, the better he will do. And in 2nd, I have got Arsenal. And the reason why I've got Arsenal is because the start of play last season was not good enough to win the league, and the fact they did win the league is pretty embarrassing, considering, well, it's pretty embarrassing for the teams below them that allowed them to win the league. They won the league with like 80-something points, won the league with set pieces, not really done a lot of goals from outside play. And yeah, I still don't rate Arteta, because the fact that he only won the league off set pieces is pretty embarrassing. You know, if you're a top quality manager, you would, considering he came from Pep and he's playing like that, it's a bit embarrassing. But in 1st, I have got Chelsea. And the reason why I've got Chelsea is because some of you are going to think, oh, he's a Chelsea fan, when I'm not. I'm a Liverpool fan, hence why Liverpool are above Man City. But I've got Chelsea. The reason why I've got Chelsea, so I'm biased as well because of Xabi Alonso. And the fact that we didn't get Xabi Alonso is a bit weird, considering he's a Liverpool legend. we sacked Slot a week after Chelsea got him. That makes sense, but they're not in Europe. They managed to get Rodgers out of Villa, that are in Europe. They got Barco, he's a really good left back, got a lot of potential. They got Lockrocks from Villa. No, not Villa, Palace. He's a really good centre back. Who else did they got? I need to get the transfer rules up because I've forgotten who signed it. Oh yeah, they got Barco in. They signed Barco, Jordan Henderson. That's a very good smart signing. Not exactly technical wise, but experience wise. He won the Premier League with Liverpool, won the Champions League with Liverpool, won the Super Cup with Liverpool, won the FA Cup with Liverpool, won the Carabao Cup with Liverpool, won the World Cup with Liverpool. So he's won 6 trophies. Bringing that experience into a young team like Chelsea, they needed experience. The owners made mistakes in the past, made Xabi Alonso a manager, not a head coach, because there's a difference between a head coach and a manager. A manager controls the backroom staff, controls the transfers, controls the tactics, controls everything about the club. A head coach only coaches the players that they bring in, decide to bring in, and now that he's got full control, he will do well. See what he did at Bayer Leverkusen when he had full control? Went unbeaten with a Bayer Leverkusen side over Bayern Munich. Only one lost game the whole season. Out of every single competition. The only competition that they lost was the Europa League. They signed Xhaka, who is similar to Jordan Henderson, not in terms of ability-wise, but in terms of experience. He is up there, probably more so than Xhaka, because he won a Premier League, won a Champions League. Xhaka only won he didn't even win the Premier League because he wasn't even at Arsenal actually, so that's, who else did they sign? Yeah, as I said, Lacroix from Palace won the FA Cup, that's more experience coming in with trophies. Palestra, not gonna lie, I haven't heard of him, but he looks a good prospect. Quanda, good prospect. Morgan Rogers, the fact that they got him from Villa when they are in the Champions League and he's not, says a lot about the club. Says a lot about how big that club is. They don't need to be in Europe to be signing top players like this. It's a lot of money, but he plays with a 3 back, so he will probably play. Who's in goal? Yeah, Sanchez in goal. Colwell at left centre back. Barker at left back. The Crocs at centre back in the middle. And then they'll probably play Reece James at centre back on the right. And then Gusko on the right. No. Yeah. So they'll probably play Barker on the left. Lecoq's on the left centre back. Colwell on the left centre back. The Crocs. Reece James on the right centre back. Then Pedro Neto on the right wing back. And then in the middle 2, Caicedo and Fernandez if he doesn't leave. But if he does leave, it'll probably be Jordan Henderson. In the 2 up top, it'll be Rodgers and Palmer. And then Danny Welbeck. But it'll probably be João Pedro. That's a good team. That's good enough to win the league. I'm sorry, but it is. Who else did he sign? Yeah, that's good enough to win the league. If it is, I'm sorry, but it is. That's my prediction. From 20th to 1st, Ipswich 20th, 19th Forest, 18th Coventry. No. Hull City 20th, Ipswich 19th, Forest 18th, Coventry 17th, 16th Palace, 15th Leeds, Newcastle 14th, 13th Everton, 12th Fulham, 11th Brentford, 10th Sunderland, Bournemouth 9th, 8th Brighton, 7th Villa, 6th Man United, 5th Spurs, 4th Man City, biased, do not care, don't care, and will never care. 3rd Liverpool, Arsenal 2nd, and then Chelsea to win the Premier League. And I think the reason why they'll win the Premier League, the signings that they have made, the depth that they have, no European football, they have to focus on one game a season, it will help them. So yeah, they are my predictions. Get yours down below. Tell me what you think. And yeah, peace out.